Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori. This is Africa 54. From terror threats and Ebola to violence and clean energy, President Obama hit on all of the hot-button issues during his speech Wednesday to the UN General Assembly in New York. Mr. Obama was most passionate about the atrocities going on in Iraq and Syria at the hand of the Islamic State militants. He called on his fellow leaders to expose and confront extremist lies and propaganda, saying no God condones this kind of terror.
There can be no reasoning, no negotiation with this brand of evil. The only language understood by killers like this is the language of force. So the United States of America will work with a broad coalition to dismantle this network of death. In this effort, we do not act alone, nor do we intend to send U.S. troops to occupy foreign lands. Instead, we will support Iraqis and Syrians fighting to reclaim their communities. We will use our military might in a campaign of airstrikes to roll back ISIL. We will train and equip forces fighting against these terrorists on the ground. We will work to cut off their financing and to stop the flow of fighters into and out of the region. And already over 40 nations have offered to join this coalition. Today I ask the world to join in this effort.
Later Wednesday, Mr. Obama attends a Security Council summit on foreign fighters, including Americans who engage in terrorism. Now, on the Ebola virus, a threat of a much different kind, he asked world leaders to show unity, resolve, and compassion to contain the virus that's killed more than 2,000 people in West Africa.
As we speak, America is deploying our doctors and scientists, supported by our military, to help contain the outbreak of Ebola and pursue new treatments. But we need a broader effort to stop a disease that could kill hundreds of thousands, inflict horrific suffering, destabilize economies, and move rapidly across borders. It's easy to see this as a distant problem until it is not. And that is why we will continue to mobilize other countries to join us in making concrete commitments, significant commitments to fight this outbreak and enhance our system of global health security for the long term.
Well, for more, UN correspondent Margaret Besheer joins us live from New York. Margaret, a rather direct tough talk there to the Middle Eastern leaders on Islamic extremism. How significant was this speech by President Obama?
Very significant. And what I really liked about it is that he talked to the youth in the Middle East, because it's the young people who are going to be these foreign fighters in Syria and Iraq in particular, young guys, 19, 20, 21 years old, easily influenced. They see stuff on the internet and they go thinking it's, a video game, and it's not. So I think President Obama really singled out the youth. He spoke to them and he said, you come from a really a beautiful culture and tradition, and these people who are trying to sway you away from it, they're wrong. So don't, dishonor your faith and your heritage this way.
But you would say you also kind of placed a heavy responsibility upon the Middle Eastern and Arab nations, and saying you got to stop the sectarian differences, but also cut off any funding to ISIS and extremists like Al-Qaeda.
Sure, it's a regional problem and the answers have to come from the region. And he said that the United States would lead. It would, use its superpower leadership status, but it wasn't going to do it alone. We're going to be a partner with other countries in the Middle East and across the world. So yes, he definitely called on them to step up to the plate and help solve this problem. And, Syria and Iraq have to also be politically resolved so that we can resolve the terrorism issue as well.
Now, Margaret, I know that the President, as we mentioned earlier, will also be chairing this UN Security Council session this afternoon. Give us the significance of this session and the President being at the head of the table here.
Right. Well, this month just so happens to coincide with the General Assembly. The United States is chair of the Security Council, president of the Security Council. It's a rotating thing among the members. And President Obama is using his presidency to highlight this issue of foreign terrorist fighters. And today the Council is expected to unanimously adopt a resolution that will look to stop the flow of young fighters to Iraq and Syria and other countries and to stop the financing to them. And it will basically call on countries to make it illegal for their citizens to fight or to fund these terrorist groups. It's going to be hard to enforce it and monitor it, but symbolically it's very important. And it's the second time the United States that a United States president has chaired a Security Council meeting. The first time was 2009, and that was also Mr. Obama on the issue of nuclear nonproliferation. So he's trying to use his status as President of the United States, as the executive, to bring attention to this issue. And it has generated a lot of attention this week.
And another issue being brought to attention, Ebola. The president talked about what the U.S. is doing and is going to be doing in the coming days. But how significant was it that the president is talking about this at the UN General Assembly?
Well, Ebola is an issue that's not just in West Africa and on the African continent of a great concern. It's all over the world. Everyone is very worried about it in this day and age where people move so freely across borders. So, the UN has been at the forefront of this. The United States taking the lead too, sending 3,000 soldiers to Liberia to help build treatment centers. So yes, it's important. Everyone's thinking about it, and we don't want it to be, to get more out of hand, because there have been some very troubling figures coming from the Centers for Disease Control and the World Health Organization in the last couple of days. And if things are not contained quickly, the numbers are looking to surge dramatically. So I think everybody really wants to see this contained.
Hey, Margaret,
and it's hurting economies and causing a humanitarian problem too.
That's correct. Thank you very much, Margaret, for your reporting there. Well, viewers, UN correspondent Margaret Besheer reporting live from New York.